free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind crying out its prayer. Why are we so ashamed to be alive? Break the chains and our freedom's ours to take. Look behind your back. Chase a light when the world is getting darker. I have a dream where love's the only side. So take my hand, join the army of the shadows. Going harder, we are more than numbers, standing in the shade. Going louder, we are all one color, standing in the way. Join the army of the shadows. Join the army of the shadows. Join the army of the shadows. Shadows, shadows. Join the army of the shadows. Join the army of the shadows. Going harder, we are more than numbers, standing in their shade. Going louder, we are all one color, standing in their way.
You and me, hanging from the willow tree, quietly drifting in the open breeze. Suddenly, the wind blows you away from me. Now I see we were never meant to be. If only we could travel back in time. Whoa, Sorry I kept you waiting forever and a day. But now we're out here together with nothing standing in our way. Can you feel the attraction? Feel the attraction. Can you feel it between us? This energy's inside us like electricity. Feel the love running through like electricity. Feel the love running through like electricity. Like electricity. Taking over your body, it's flowing through your mind. This feeling's got me on fire. Don't ever leave it all behind. Can you feel the attraction? Feel the attraction. Can you feel it between us? This energy's inside us like electricity. Feel the love running through like electricity. Feel the love. Can you feel me? Ooh, can you feel me?
I'm crawling around, searching for higher ground. Can't see in front of me, my enemies. I've tried every possibility, ability to know if I can bleed. If that's what you wanted, you won't get it tonight. 'Cause I can fly, I can fly, I can fly, I can fly. I'm crawling around, searching for higher ground. Can't see in front of me, my enemies. I've tried every possibility, ability to know if I can bleed. If that's what you wanted, you won't get it tonight.
taking whatever you told me. I know what I could be, making emotion paintable and so tell me, is this what you made me? I'm the storm that meets the moon. I'm the sun that will not more. Do you think you are? Who do you think you tell me one more lie? Every time you bring me close, and you're thickening the ghost of you, bleeding tires you've
hanging by a thread.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the action here. And you guys did not get to see me right there at the start. You guys saw my forehead slash this hat and the rest of that is above me. But welcome, guys. This is week number 5, day number 3. And we have ourselves a wild matchup right here between ADS Gaming and Redux Rain. the former Redux Black, they decided to recolor themselves, reskin themselves, and give themselves Redux Rain. But same team, same record, no purchasing and selling of spots, so don't get that confused and mixed up. They're just going to be using a different color scheme. So that's fine and dandy here. Now, will that make a difference? In my, maybe now that they're purple, they might have been able to pull away some of that special sauce that we saw the purple boys at the side of Minnesota Rocker today take down Optic. Maybe some of that special sauce from Standy is seeping in the veins of these Redux Rain players, because they're gonna need something to really help get them to spark up and ignite some sort of fire to take down this ADS gaming side that's been looking very, very hot so far this league. They're tied in the top, if not, actually no, just after last night's results, they've been leapfrogged by Hi-Fi. Now, the side of ADS Gaming, they're super strong. They're a team that's coming out of winning it last season in the Modern Warfare season, and they have a really strong record as well. Only one loss on their record. I believe that one loss was also against the new Flawless side, so that's something to obviously wince a little bit at, and to show that there is some cracks and chinks in the armor. Now, looking over at the side of Redux Rain, they do have a lot more losses. They have 3 losses and only 4 wins. One of their wins coming from the side of Divided We Fall, which, from my knowledge and a few other people's knowledge, have dropped out of the league. So, matches coming off of that their match against Redux Rain was the last one that they played in. So before they left. And Redux Rain was able to take the win there. So all the matches moving forward are probably just going to be forfeited wins going over to the other teams. But man, ADS Gaming, they're a really strong opponent that Redux Rain have to try to show up with their A game to play up against and hold their own. But upsets, they can happen. And in this group, both these teams, this is a matchup for Group A, one of the most competitive groups, if not the most competitive groups, the most competitive group we've ever had in the ALG League. It's shaping up to be a barn burner as we're getting into the last half of the regular season, and this is a goated matchup right here. You got the high performing, newly named, Hinata, formerly known as AIM. He's on the side of ADS Gaming, making a lot of noise, and then you have Redux Rain's Flinched, who's been, over the last few matches, not really flinching much. He's been really holding his own and very strong, and even in the loss they took last week on stream, I believe, against the side of Divine Future, he still, showed up and looked like a powerhouse like he usually does. Sort of like Aqua today in their loss against Dallas. Aqua, regardless of what his team ends up finishing out the score of the series on, he's always putting up solid numbers in the respawn. And the respawn for you guys is those are the ones that I feel like are going to mean the most and going to be the most closest in neck and neck between these two teams. Now, what are those respawn maps? Well, we're going to jump right over to those right here, right now. And starting off, we're going to have the Garrison to start everything off. Very similar start we saw with the Paris Legion versus Dallas game as well. They started off with Hardpoint Garrison. I feel like this is going to be an extremely important map to be won by Redux to show that they can, they can beat down the Doonies with the boys, hold it down with ADS Gaming when it comes to a respawn and when it comes to slaying. Then you go into that Moscow S&D, and I think that's a map that, if history serves itself well, Redux has shown up well on as well. Respawn or not, it's been a good map for them. And then Raid Control, been the comfort pick for pretty much every team, every matchup we've had so far within the last, weeks, if not since, the beginning of this league. We've seen Raid Control, and ADS Gaming has always looked super strong on that. Along with their very nice and strong record as well at 4-2. Now, looking at some of the stats, what do these teams have is like their best mode. Both of these teams have six maps won on Hardpoint. S&D, we see a 6-1 versus a 5-4. in favor of ADS Gaming. Then you look over the control, both these teams relatively the same. You got a 4-2, 4-3. Right now, the stats wise, it's looking slim, but it's in favor of ADS Gaming. That Search and Destroy going to be the one that should be theirs. Statistically, it should not be lost. And then looking at the hard point to start, you know, that should be really fought hard over. ADS Gaming statistically have an advantage there, but that control in the middle, it's going to be fair game. I feel like that one's going to be the most 50-50, most open, best opportunity for a map to be stolen or taken away in this series by Redux Rain. Now, I'm going to see if I can get the lobby put together here. I'm just going to ask the players if they're ready here to give me their thoughts on whether or not I can start everything up. But for those of you guys here tuning in from home, if you haven't already gone out and shared the stream, share it out. We are going to get this action going right here, and we want to have, you know, an audience to spectate it. And obviously we want to get as many fans here of both these teams to be present so they can cheer on their players that are competing here tonight. We have, you know, the side of ADS Gaming, that's Hinata, formerly known as AIM, Naruto, Reaper, and Killua. Naruto, for those of you guys who don't know, I got that Naruto swag on from my boy Naruto. I'm wearing that. Some of the red for ADS Gaming too, you know, because they're the reigning champs. I gotta show them a little bit of extra love here and there. But, you know, enough love over to ADS Gaming. Let me introduce you guys to the Redux Rain squad that could reign supreme after today. They could end up, they'll be tied with ADS Gaming in terms of having the same amount of series wins. They'll be in that 5 mark. They'll end the week off 5-3, 2-0 on the week as well. It could be this would be a very important week for them, especially to help them solidify a spot in that top 4, because they're fighting so heavily for, you know, that 4th or 3rd spot in the group. Could even contest for the 1st or 2nd, but it's going to be interesting. But the Redux Rain team is going to be Flinched, Blinder, Schnapps, and Slaya. So that's a strong roster in and of itself as well. So you know, both teams, both of these teams have to come out hot. ADS Gaming, they can't sleep on their opponents here. They've got to give it all they got here, and you know, try to show up and you know, bring their A game and just, you know, be awake. Time and time again, we see teams at the top that have been coasting through a lot of competition or even getting a ton of wins and have a really strong record. They end up underestimating an opponent. Like for instance, in today's game, I feel like to a degree, you saw a lot of underestimation from Octa Gaming. Immaturity showed from Dashi as well in terms of, you know, him underestimating his opponents as well. And they were able to just absolutely get flattened by the side of the Minnesota Rocker. And well, will we see ADS Gaming get rocked in this opening map? We'll have to find out as the timer's ticking down. We're getting ready for the action. And Garrison Hardpoint will end up starting everything off, folks. And we've got a very, very exciting matchup to go through here. It's going to be purple and it's going to be red. We will see which team ends up dead or ends up on top here. Let's see those hashtags in chat, folks. Throw those predictions up. I want to see those hashtag ADS wins or hashtag RDX win or Redux win. I want to see it. Let's get loud. Let's get down to business, as we're going to be jumping straight into this action, folks. I'm not going to dilly-dally. We're going to get into the action right here, right now. And, oh boy, we're going to be starting off here with both these teams here. Everybody in the lobby, what I like to see. Audio is here for you folks. Now, it's all about getting these early skirmishes. Who will be on top here on this point? We're going to see the side of Redux Rain. It looks like they're going to decide to play from the left side of the map. There's going to be contests. They're going to start spawning out on the left side of the map. There's going to be contests all over this point. But Schnapps, he will be able to help clean up Killua, the last player contesting the point. So he will be able to grab time. He gets tagged up from the player top green. That's going to be Naruto. Naruto watching all of these lanes right here that these players from Redux Rain could be coming from. And he will drop out at the plat by the back of green. And top green control. right now. Nobody in it right now. Flinched will be watching over it. Same with Blinder. But it looks like that P2 rotation is going to be coming in right here from Redux Rain. It's going to be good for 1 kill, but a kill comes in inside of bricks. And that's, you're going to see ADS Gaming start flooding into that left side of the map, taking over those spawns. And Killua gets killed off in the 2-piece from Slaya and his, oh my lord, no way, Slaya is using the Bullfrog. Let's go, boys. That's going to be another gun up in here. Gotta love to see the use of the Bullfrog, as he's going to get some kills in the mix here. QBZ going to come out, Flinched will grab 1. Now maybe that weird gun choice might be something also interesting to see in the mix if it ends up being a bit of a difference maker. Right now, ADS Gaming, they're still trying to get onto this point as the score is so close, but all those purple players are getting pincered off of the hill and out of the real estate and over to P3, as the lead will be in favor of ADS Gaming. But Flinched, he's going to be able to start up a little streak here in the chaos over by tanks. He will be spotted most likely here, but he will take down another player. Will he be ready for the player coming out of that tank, from under the tank? Hinata will get naded out. He will trade out some nades as well, but Flinched continuing to go off. He's going to get himself onto a 5 streak, make that 6. He's 1 more away from the kill streak. No, he does not get himself the score streak, folks. Unfortunate stuff. He doesn't ascertain that, as a trophy system's going to get thrown down by Hinata. We're going to start to see them start to solidify some sort of position, forcing from these spawns from the middle tank door. And Redux Rain, they're looking good on this P3, and it's going to be good for a lot of time as well, as they've gotten absolutely bills upon bills of stacks of money off of that hill, and the scraps will end up going over to ADS Gaming, but they're going to need to be starting to set up in a better position for this next hill if they want to contest to continue to keep a lead alive for themselves. As right now, Redux Rain, they're going to get early time on this hill. They're going to find themselves with some early success on the hill as well, with some players getting some gunfights to go their way. And here we go, Flinched and Blinder combined for some really big kills. Hinata still alive, going to tag on Schnapp, going to even finish off the kill. This point's going to be open for the blue, for the purple or the red to play for. Slaya going to get another 2-piece. Big work out of these players, and Flinched going off on this opening map and mode here, looking like Standy with the unbelievable opening performance here. 16-6, frying everything in sight. ADS Gaming, they're taking a while to heat up here. Hinata just not using the Byakugan to full effect to try to get some extra vision and extra precision with his moves, with his tactics, and with his senses. Just not everything kind of agreeing and working well. But ADS Gaming, they're going to start to get themselves over into this next point for P5. Trying to keep Redux Rain at bay here, spawning at the back of this hill. I look to try to set up the spawn trap here. Shots come out. Hinata will tag up 1. And that player's going to make a big run around 2 top green. It's going to be number 7. Flinched going to continue to do some really dangerous stuff and some really dastardly and dirty stuff to ADS Gaming, as he's getting into spots and that's really plugging holes in the plans of ADS Gaming here. Killua, he's going to get a kill before getting traded out by Slaya. Slaya on a 3 streak, make that 4. This Bullfrog is nothing to joke about. He's putting it out and using it to full effect here. He's frogging on all of his opponents right here with it. He's making them all croak. He doesn't even need to use it at times. He can just use it. He can bash them in with the butt of the gun. As Slaya is absolutely frying here alongside Flinched. Naruto having a bit of a slow one right now with only 17 seconds of hill time. Not really much else to talk about here. Also going 10-14. Needs to start heating up, and as I say this, he does heat up big for 3 big kills. He will be shot at by Slaya at long range, and Slaya will gun him down. Blinder gonna be coming up off his spawn to help his team make some sort of push over to this next point, over to this P1, as P2 is also well guarded by the red arrows of ADS Gaming. The hill time, you know, the points, the score between these teams is still rather close as Flinched. He will be able to grab himself a 5 streak to work with, trying to get some score streaks onto the board here for him to get himself. He's going to find one big kill right there. That's going to put him to 6. One more, and he might see himself with the first streak. He's going to peek out around into little bricks. He will end up being spotted, but he will not end up getting the kill. Killua will tag himself up here. Number 5 in Schnapps. He's going to be the lone player playing from green. He will see that 6 streak still stay alive until right when I mention it, he does drop. And we are seeing ADS Gaming finding a lot of success here on this hill. Back-to-back hills chained together. Points are going all their way. Time's going all their way. Soon we should see Redux start to focus on chalking up their hits at this point and just work to play that third point on the map, as that was their money hill in the first rotation. Massive work out of ADS Gaming to get themselves more in and above their opponents here with a juicy amount of points. So if they were to lose a lot of points off of this next hill, it wouldn't be too detrimental. Redux Rain, they're going to be on this point early. Reaper is going to try to aggress forward from Dark. He will tag up Slaya heavy. But the respawns and the reinforcements are so close to this hill that the purple people on the side of Redux Rain, they won't have much to worry about as Flinched continues to just go on streaks here. The man's already at 31. Absolutely, I say, frying over and over again. The man is pulling out just absolutely myth-like numbers here. At times, just unbelievable presence he has on this map. Blinder, another player I've highlighted before as being a strong player for the team. Just, you know, once again, if he's not shining, we're seeing Flinched for sure up at the top for his team, and he's practically one of the sole reasons, maybe you could argue, partially dragging his team across some of these points and across the finish line in this opening map, as he's just outslaying at such a high degree. And when he drops, you see the presence and pressure that Redux Rain have against the side of ADS Gaming. It drops significantly when you see Flinched put in the back, put in the spawn. Reaper gonna get a big kill right there. That's gonna draw some attention, and it's gonna lead to another player dropping in the trades. As Naruto, he's gonna get up to this top bridge. He will end up dropping here. Flinched is gonna stay alive in the back here, in the truck. He's gonna look to aggress onto this hill. He will tag up Killua heavy, but he stays alive. That will continue to get points to go that team's way. And ADS Gaming, they have gotten themselves within a few points away from their opponents here in Redux Rain, and they're gonna keep them pincered over at Caution and whatnot. As the action continue to go down, the spawns are going to start to split up and come through for the people in purple here, the Redux Rain roster, as they're going to get some spawns to come in behind the tanks here, behind Brick. They're going to decide to flood through this point from Brick as well, and these were some two massive kills. Slaya will get a 2-piece in there. The rest of the team clear off all those players from ADS Gaming, so the cushion grown by ADS Gaming is going to just become deflated here ever so quickly by Redux Rain's players as they position themselves on the point. There's still a lead for ADS Gaming. It's very slim, and Hinata will make it slimmer as he will decide to cut down those 2 players over by the bricks, cut them down like fat off an obese person. And man, just absolutely purifying the point for ADS Gaming to get onto it. Redux Rain doing some amazing work though. Flinched, regardless of the score, to end this hard point. He's definitely earned multiple props from everybody. He's on the brink of getting himself 40 kills on this one. Flinched will, in fact, get to the 40 mark up against ADS Gaming. Last season, this would have been thought to have been unspeakable. going into this season with the teams and the caliber we're seeing in the competition, it's something that we could potentially predict to happen. But with the side of Redux, Rain, Flinch, from recent competitions, recent action in the league, it's undeniable that he is of a player deserving an the ALG League's MVP, as he's in that 5 running. And here we go, ADS Gaming hit the ground running in the openings of this series, taking down Redux Rain in this opening hardpoint on Garrison, 250 to 205. The boys in purple, they might not have crossed the line and got the win on the first map, but boy oh boy did they not disappoint at all. Expectations definitely met and or exceeded by them amidst the loss. And you know, ADS Gaming, just an absolutely demon type squad here. Everybody frying later to the middle to the end of that series. They just took some time to heat up. You know, major props to a lot of their players, and they ended up playing the rotations a lot more successfully following, you know, the halfway mark of that first rotation of Hills. You know, ADS Gaming started to come more alive when it came to that objective play, and the objective play ended up ultimately being the major difference between these two teams that ultimately led to the score being in ADS Gaming's favor. Now, congrats to them on winning that opening map, and well, that's a big weight lifted off their shoulders in terms of where there might have been some doubts going into this one. As I talked about statistically, that mode was a close mode statistically between the two. It wasn't, the stats didn't favor ADS Gaming by a large margin like it is going to be in this Search and Destroy. So they were able to close out map 1 and mode 1. Now moving into map 2, mode 2, it's going to be an interesting change of pace. You know, you're going to see a difference pacing. We're going to be on that map of Express, one of the newer maps added to this mode, or not Express, sorry, Moscow. We're going to be on Moscow. It's a bit of a slower paced map. Obviously, there is a fast pacedness when, you know, if we do see the two teams ram heads at that A site, but to some degree, a lot of times we're seeing as of recent on this map in the league, from what I can recall, we've been seeing a lot more slower paced action, both on offense and defense, with some of the ways that the teams like to split and whatnot. But this is a map that, even though I say statistically it favors ADS Gaming, from my own personal knowledge, it's a map that I feel like Redux, and when it comes to S&D, I feel like Redux really practice hard, and they do a really good job when it comes to actually methodizing and coming up with strats. And this is a map that, you know, it's like a lot of us other S&D maps, you know, there's a lot of strats, different strats that teams have been able to use and put into practice and find some really good results from. There's no one size fits all when it comes to, you know, a few strats will just, you know, there's only like a handful of strats and everybody knows them, and it's hard to come up with new ones. This is one of those maps where, you know, there is a strong amount of strats, a healthy book that I give credit over to the Redux side for obviously having established and having created. Now, looking over at ADS Gaming, you know, a lot of their players, I feel like, you know, S&D might be a bit of on the back foot of their practice, because it's a mode that they know they're a well-oiled machine on. They have a really strong record right now in it, and they have a lot of sense. They have a lot of prior experience with the S&D playing together, as this is a very familiar roster that has been around together for quite some time. Now, jumping into the Moscow soon, I do want to ask you guys in chat, just because I don't have Nico here, I want to know, what do you guys think of when it comes to this matchup? Do you guys have any guesses on what you think the score might end off being in this matchup between these two? Do you lean ADS Gaming? Do you lean, you know, 6-1, where it's a massive, you know, one-sided affair, you think, in the S&D? Or do you guys think it's going to be a closer one for ADS Gaming to take? Or maybe shoes on the other foot, you're a Redux fan, you're a Redux supporter, and you think, you know, Redux is the team to support in this one. You think it's going to be close. I personally, you know, I want to put a considerable amount of support for Redux here. I want to say Redux take this S&D, 6-4. I feel like it's going to be a very close showing for both these teams. It's going to be back and forth. There might be a little bit of a ballooned lead at one point, but I feel like the catch-up is going to be there from one of these two sides, and we will see things slowly start to obviously shift their side of Redux. That's how to illustrate my idea of my prediction there. As well as this is a very very AR focused map, and Flinched's AR just looked unstoppable and impeccable on that first map, and it's going to be interesting to see if that can be matched by anybody on the side of ADS Gaming that comes out with their ARs. If any of them will be able to, if we will see them flinch, or if we will see them, obviously, if we see them flinch or falter, or if we see them, come out with the win. We will see here, as we are going to get that map loaded up and ready to go. I spend quite a bit of time talking in between these maps. Want to obviously personalize with you guys, get a little bit of a breakdown, of the map before, map towards, and just this matchup's so spicy and juicy. I think it's one of the ones that, Redux, they're coming out now with divided. We fall, kind of falling out of the league. They're one of those dark horse teams, across both the groups that I think could do some surprising stuff come playoff time, and they gotta, they can potentially start to show some of that success here, as it's not going to be 0-0. The score isn't going to be like that. The score is, in fact, ADS Gaming up 1-0 in this series, but at the top of the map, I forgot to adjust it while I was obviously talking to you guys in between the maps. Now, it is going to be a play over to A, and like we ended Flinched. He starts things off with a big kill here to put his team up in lives here on the map, and there we go. ADS Gaming down to just 1, and it's interesting. We're seeing Flinch swap over to a submachine gun. We'll see the AR instead in Blinder's hands. I'm not quite sure if we see Blinder with that AR consistently and regularly, or if it's something that he's just choosing to use. But ADS Gaming, Naruto, he's going to be the last one left in this 1 versus 3. He's going to look to try to find one kill onto Slaya. He will. The information, though, it's been given. Redux Rain, they can start to reposition and readjust here. Naruto's going to need to check his corners here for this player potentially hanging out over at the brick wall. He is going to go for a wrap here for this bomb. He will be spotted out, but he will be double chowed here, and the deadly duo of Blinder and Flinched will be able to combine together and work together to close out that round. 1 versus 3 turned into a 1 versus 2, and then closed out by the 2 players left for Redux Rain. Puts them up on the board first. It snaps that win streak that we saw coming off of the first map for ADS Gaming, and puts them on the back foot in the S&D. Now, for those of you guys that also, another thing I didn't get to talk about going into this matchup that could also play a bit of a factor is, for the first time, and I have to say, like, I can't think of, for the first time in, I would say, I want to say 8 months? First time in 8 months in the ALG Masters League, ADS Gaming has actually dropped a series. And this one was off stream, over on my own stream, against the side of Team Flawless and with their new roster. So, now that we've seen that they are beatable and they have taken a loss, it's going to be interesting to see how that ultimately will affect their mental going into the second half of the league and matches following it. As right now, ADS Gaming, they came out hot in that respawn. They did falter at times. They showed signs of flexing and creasing. Now Redux Rain, they're going to be able to give it to them here in this search and destroy. Hinata is going to get taken down, and there we go. It's all up to Reaper here. 1 versus 2. Naruto try to channel that Sage mode, couldn't have it go to use, couldn't use his Rasengan to take down his opponents, ends up dropping in his 1 versus 2. This time around, though, Reaper going to be put into it. Will he be able to grab the kills? He will not, as the last 2 players lying down on the ground like some snakes in the grass. Gonna take him down Blinder gonna find the kill onto Hinata, and most likely he just gets that plant, and his teammate there in the 2 versus 1 ends up closing down the last player in Reaper. Now Redux Rain, they find themselves in a very, very good position of 2-0 in the S&D. The offense is going to be with ADS Gaming. They are on the attacking side, and well, the defending side, Redux Rain, they will decide to push up and look to play a counterplay. They will look to call out a counterplay, or at least something to overload a bit over to A. Though they will keep one player in Schnapps all the way at Boulevard. This could end up badly for Redux Rain without that extra reinforcements and support. But with a slow start to this one from ADS Gaming, with Hinata in the back, watching for a flank that's not really coming, and I personally don't believe it will ever come, as most likely they will shift Schnapps to come over into B and then make his way around from their team spawn. Flinched will get the first kill. He will end up getting help on the second one, but he will drop, and 2 kills go the way of Redux Rain to open up this round, but 2 will get answered right back by ADS Gaming. Blinder stays alive. He's on an 8 streak. The man is 8-0 in the S&D, going under my radar clearly. Right in front of him is going to be Naruto, but he will drop to another teammate. As, oh my lord, he's on an 8-0 streak. This has only been 3 rounds of S&D, and he's on 8-0. Blinder. Sure as hell, he ain't the one that's blind. His opponents. Blind as bats, unable to shoot back whatsoever. As he's making that QBZ do some dirty things. That's 8 kills, folks, going into round 4. 8 kills coming out of round 3. He's averaging more than 2 kills a round. He's averaging close to 3 kills a round going into this one. Flinched will get that first blood, and right now, first blood's another reason why we could pinpoint success being in ADS Gaming's favor so much in this search and destroy, is time and time again ADS Gaming, they are coming out with the first bloods in these rounds, and Blinder will continue his streak, make it 9, as the last player alive is going to be Killua. He's going to be playing Boulevard B Street. He's going to be chilling around here by the bomb. He's going to decide that he's going to have to start to move in somewhere towards some way towards this A bomb, as that's going to be where the bomb ends up getting planted ultimately. And a donut is going to be fashioned by Schnapps leaving this round, going into round number 5. And still in this round, last alive for ADS Gaming, the donut sitting in Killua's lap. He's going to look to try to extinguish that donut, at least get himself 1 kill on the board here. But these players from Redux Rain are in some really good spots. The info is there. Blinder's going to aggress forward. Will Blinder stay alive and extend the streak? Blinder, and Redux. One of the teammates will get the kill, and Redux ultimately gets the 3rd round. Oh my lord. ADS Gaming, I had a lot more hope that you guys would be on the table getting some kills and getting some rounds. But they're just getting absolutely choked out here. This is looking like an aggressive play. This is some aggression and success that is really beyond expectations from Redux Rain against this ADS Gaming side. And well, ADS Gaming, they're gonna try their hardest to do something to kind of shake things up here. But as this defensive play from Redux Rain, the positionings have been really on point and successful. As the streaks are gonna start to come through, Redux Rain, they're gonna slow down that rocket after they do get 1 kill from it to even things out. Hinata will drop, as it's going to be ADS Naruto playing for this checker spot, and looking like ADS Gaming is going to try to wrap this and rotate this over to A. As I'm saying, rotate it over to A, we're going to see Killua aggress forward. He's going to give away his positioning here, and he's going to slowly make his way over to B here. with so little support here. And a player in Slaya in the back playing this line of sight. He's going to be good to tag. It's a nice little cheeky spot in between the pole and the bus here. It's going to be good for the info. It's going to be good for tags. It's going to slow down this play. And without a doubt, Redux Rain are going to know that the last choice, the only spot this B bomb could be planted at is going to be, this bomb could be planted at is going to be at B. Slaya left in the 1 versus 1 will close out the weakened player. And this is a 5-0, folks. This is absolutely filthy. Reaper will be good for 2 on the bomb site, but ultimately not enough to get that 3rd kill. As time wasn't there for him, it wasn't in his favor for him to retreat and look to retake in a 1 versus 1. He gets stuck needing to get to that bomb to plant it and or find that engagement quickly. As right now, flinched, not atop the leaderboards this time around. We see Blinder getting away with murder in this S&D. He's on pace to potentially even match Jamie's S&D kill record as well. But that would be only if, and even past that record, if he does manage to, if ADS Gaming manages to grab more rounds here, as they will put things into a 1 versus 3. And there you go, ADS Gaming getting on the board, making it a 5-1 instead of a 6-0 closeout. Totally tough scenes for ADS Gaming, but they regain in a round where it looked like everything was just over and we were going to see a flawless ending to this search and destroy. We see ADS Gaming look to hold on for dear life. Both Schnapps and Killua through 6 rounds of S&D yet to find a kill. Both hugging those donuts. Maybe trying to not let go of them. It's really been a 3 versus 3 for that. When you look down to the 0-6s, it's really just been a 3 versus 3. Flinched will be good for another first blood, folks. And more streaks are going to start to come out of the pocket from Blinder. I believe this should be the last one here. He will find Hinata with that one and make this a 4 versus 2. This could spell the end for ADS Gaming if Naruto does get cut down there. And there we go. All alone is Reaper. His position given away. Blinder gonna know where he is as well. The information of him being in the back spawns here. He's gonna lie on the ground, and Blinder will do it all here. The magic man of the map will end things as well with an absolutely jaw-dropping KD ratio. And ADS Gaming fall in this S&D. I talked about not counting out the side of Redux Rain going into this one, regardless on what the stats might have been saying before this matchup started. You know, it ended up going the way of Redux, and we see a leveled playing field now of a 1-1 scoreline. This is very, very interesting stuff. As boy oh boy, we got ourselves we have ourselves an extended series now, as we will be guaranteed the checkmate to come from map number 4. Now, quickly, while I'm getting things set up for this map 3, I want to jump to a quick little break, grab myself an opportunity to grab a little bit of water, some of you guys as well to rehydrate, and some of these players as well to grab some hydration as well. We'll be right back, guys. We'll jump in straight into the gameplay without questions asked for some raid control coming up next, folks.
Hung upon all the words you said, breaking free from this conformity that you force on me. Everything I do is one big show. It's about damn time that I take control. Put me under a microscope and watch me take control. What's this? I finally read this helplessness. Tired of feeling like I'm upside Don't tell me that I need saving. Finally awake and living. Yeah, yeah. The pressure inside was building. I felt under attack, and now my mind's attacked, and I've chosen my path. I've chosen my path. Oh, what's this? I finally read this helplessness. Tired of feeling like I'm upside down, so I'm gonna turn it all around. And oh, and dear God, save my soul, 'cause it is flawed. Tired of feeling like I'm upside down, so I'm gonna turn it all around. Upside down. Upside down. Gonna turn it all around. Upside down.
Oh me, oh my, folks. We have ourselves a series on our hands as it is 1-1 right now. Going into the control, this is Redux Rain up against ADS Gaming. And Naruto just going to take a little pause to swap out his gun here. And we're going to see ourselves with an attacking round to start off in this control for ADS Gaming. And the defense is going to start off for Redux Rain. And they're going to get a player nice up and personal here in both the top art and the top of the mansion here to start up this pressure. They're going to post up a really high line. I like that. There's a good amount of aggression, and there's a lot of success you can find from, you know, positioning the players in those spots on the map. Now, Hinata will find a really important kill on a player that's playing in the pillars in the middle, but A will decide to go by really quickly for the side of ADS Gaming. They hop on there, they hold and win the gunfights they needed to win. Now some of this pressure in the back, it's gonna be split up here. And those players, when they got split up, they weren't able to find the right clues to help their side take down, you know, to help Redux Raining take down those ADS players that push through from A. Now Naruto, he's gonna be playing jungle just to catch those players spawning up over behind Laundry. There's split spawns right now that ADS Gaming has Redux Rain working with here, and they're becoming more and more problematic as Redux Rain players start to get managed and taken down in their spawns here. As back and forth trades are coming through, Hinata will be good for a big kill right there. Will Blinder be cut down in the middle of that point? No. Hinata will stay living at large here. Inside kitchen, drawing attention that will be answered by Killua. Hinata stays alive on the streak. He makes it 6. Will he find himself the 7th? There we go. Full streaks for AIM / Hinata to use. The Byakugan looking through those walls will come in handy. And maybe even use some of that Trigram Jitsu to full effect as well. But Naruto is going to have some time to pop off. He's been waiting. He's been building that Sage Mode bar for quite some time. He will find 2 big kills, open up the point, and ADS Gaming will say hello and how do you do to Redux Rain and take away that momentum coming off of that search and destroy that was so strong and embarrassing to watch for ADS Gaming fans, as Redux Rain takes that one, ties up the series. It ties in a knot the laces of ADS Gaming, hoping they'd fall over themselves going into the next map, but ADS Gaming, they're able to come out strong with an offensive round to boot as well to go their way to start off this control. Redux Rain, they've got to answer here. They've got to fire on all cylinders here, and right now the fire isn't being found in Flinched like we saw him in the first respawn. This time around, Hinata is going to be the one with a lot of fire under his feet, and it's weird for me to say he after Hinata because she's a female character in Naruto, but, you know, it is AIM, and AIM is a male, I believe. I'm going to have to talk to him about what he wants, you know, gender profile, gender pronoun wise to be used when it comes to, you know, the talking of about them. As Redux Rain, they're going to be working really hard to try to get out of these spawns. That, you know, ADS Gaming, they're using that split pinching technique to try to take them down, but in Redux Rain, they're so divided here as well. There's one player playing in the back trying to take down ADS Gaming players from their spawns. Where there's a split on Redux Rain side, there's also a split on ADS Gaming. So Flinched will be able to get one big kill there, but that A point will not go the way of Redux Rain just yet. B will have one tick of progress going its way as well. And now here comes some streaks from Hinata. You'll be good for one big kill. Will we be able to see anything more come from those streaks? You know, there's most likely one more still in the hands of AIM, and it's going to be, or Hinata, and it's going to be that cruise missile. The defense holding so strong here from ADS Gaming. As I was saying, I thought this would be the most competitive map out of the three in the rotation. The hardpoint ends up so far being the most competitive of the two, unless we do see a bounce back come out of Redux Rain in the next round to follow, because ADS Gaming, they're closing out really quickly on this on taking down this map and giving themselves a 2-1 lead going into that hardpoint. Map number 3. All of that power, finesse, and faith that we saw Redux Rain living with in that search and destroy, it's just, it seems to have gone off and been evaporated from the pan that ADS Gaming is using to fry them in. As Redux Rain falling out of place here, but Blinder will be good for 2 big kills to start off this round for his team. Continuing to grab a bit of a streak to work with. He will shoot at Reapers. Unable to take him down, Reaper himself would bring death upon Blinder. Hinata will venture out into the ball court and find 2 unsuspecting players, two kids not looking for a challenge against this NBA star of that is Hinata. Hinata will find one. Will he be able to find the next? He will see the player that's passed him like 2 ships in the night, but the other one comes in. Hinata once again streaking. A streak also acquired for Reaper as well, as he's going to look to play for this last player over here. That's going to be Slaya getting taken out off the hill. A hill going to be taken. 1 tick of progress. Will we start to see a split focus come out from ADS? They are going to continue this split focus. Flinch is going to be taken low. The last streak will come out for, I believe, Hinata here. It will get 2 big kills. The B point is still being aggressed forward by ADS Gaming. Reaper is going to make his way in. He's going to tiptoe to a point of power here. In kitchen, find one while making a meal. Will the snack end up being enjoyed as well here? As the next player is yet to come, the artillery is going to be in his pocket. Blinder will end up taking some really nice shots onto Reaper, but he will be able to reap the rewards. His streak brings him to another kill streak Another score streak, another weapon at his disposal when all he really has been needing so far is his submachine gun. It's been so devastating all map long. 14-8, what a dominant score KD for himself as well. It's gonna feel nice. Naruto getting a massive 3-piece right there. The Rasengan is so damaging up close and personal with the QBZ. And good night, sweet prince. That map is done and dusted so fast. Quicker than a 100-meter sprint. ADS Gaming. They turn the tides that Redux Rain had going in their favor after that second map of pure success and really no sorts of failure except for one round. You know, a blemish upon their record that is just so tiny and minuscule in my eyes. Now coming in here, you just get absolutely dominated. It was a massive slapping here, and you know, more than just the socks were knocked off of these Redux players. As ADS Gaming, they will go into this next map now. It's going to be a checkmate hardpoint, and they will see themselves with the lead in this series right now at 2-1. It's not over yet. There was so much bark along with the bite that that Redux was bringing to the table of that first, within the first map here in that Garrison hardpoint. It was so close, but ADS Gaming was able to come out on top there off of some really strong, like I said before, rotational play. You know, their slaying was able to heat up, and they were able to start to match and overtake the pacing that Redux Gaming was playing in. Now with checkmate hardpoint looming, Redux is going to have to do a really good job in matching the strength in which they slayed and you know, surpassing that their pacing and that they showed in that first map of hardpoint on Garrison. And then they're going to also, on top of that, going to need to really pay attention to the rotations and make sure that they get those to go their way, you know, more successfully. Not lighten up on the pressure. Don't ease on the brakes too much when you start to falter. You need to continue to press them once you have an advantage, and you need to hold it for as long as you can, and you know, cross those fingers, dot those I's and cross those T's that your team is able to hold on to the advantage all the way through to the end. But you just can't give too many inches over for ADS Gaming, because at times they'll turn it into a mile, and then it becomes, you know, way too hard of a struggle to try to overcome the deficits they can put on your team. Now we do have this next map loading up here. ADS Gaming do find themselves with the lead right here in the series at 2-1. I want to see your guys' predictions in chat. I want to see more cheers for both these teams. Do we see this one extended to a map 5? Do we see Redux end up winning this map 4? You know, throw it in chat. Do you guys see we go to map 5? Do you guys see Redux winning this one? Or do you guys think ADS Gaming, they close things here, they close things here, they put that wooden stake in the heart of the werewolf that is ADS Gaming, that is Redux. My apologies, as I'm fumbling all over the place, but you know who's not fumbling to start things off? It's going to be ADS Gaming, as they're going to come out hot and heavy on this first point. They're going to grab themselves some early time here as well, and equal pressure, equal opportunity, but all the points right now going the way of ADS Gaming early on this one. The rotations are going to have to start to come through, though, around that 30-second, maybe even the 20-second mark from ADS Gaming, because those next spawns are so hard to take when you take too much time to before really making a push to, you know, proceed on forward. Now 30 points earned, they can look to soak up the rest of this time, and you know, not having rotated early enough won't be as devastating, because a point has 60 seconds in it, and for a perfect hold to come out from Redux Rain, you know, for the 60, that will see them ahead. So with 47 points right there, that's really efficient. And they're even going to get first touches on the next point as ADS Gaming, they slide on out. Not really into the DMs, but they destroy the side of Redux Rain. They sweep the rug out from under their feet. And speaking about under their feet, ADS Gaming, they're going to lose spawns. Just as quick as they were able to rise, they were also able to fall. And ADS Gaming, they are ahead 60-11. Not a lot of time left to work with on this hill for Redux Rain. They're going to have to start working towards that belly of the plain hill. That's going to be P3. As right now, ADS Gaming, they have prime territory, prime real estate at their disposal right here with this plane. The spawn outs are going to start to come through for Redux. They need to win those big gunfights for plane control and or the outer plane control, as well as Flinch will be hot for 2 big kills. He will sniff out another play to potentially take down. He will find Naruto on the swing here, on the clap around. Reaper will take down Flinched and Blinder. The 2 standout players for Redux Rain within the last, 3 maps in the series. Redux Rain are able to clear off and fully team wipe ADS away from the hill. Blinder on a 3 streak right now, looking to try to get some streaks to work with, but as a lot of you guys know, this map, with its build and characteristics and shape, it's an indoor one, so streaks aren't really as useful, apart from obviously knowledge of where players would be with that with the square that kind of highlights them. But with this being an indoor map, it doesn't really play too kindly to streaks. They don't end up being as rewarding at most times as they would be on other hills or other maps and whatnot. As that nade's gonna be good to take up Flinch. Naruto should be able to pick off the last remaining health of that player. He will be good for 2 kills. He will get tagged up heavy here. He will adjust and go into one of the side windows and end up ultimately dropping. As now we're going to jump on with Blinder, a player that's been streaking here and there across the 2 maps, the 3 maps. He was instrumental throughout the full victory that we saw from Redux Rain on the only map so far in Search and Destroy. As ADS Gaming, they see themselves, double the score ahead of their opponents here. Going into this P4, this is the first cycle of hills. ADS Gaming break the 100-point club first here. And Reapers, he's going to work on a streak of his own. He's at 4. He's going to do some do-si-doing and ring around the rosy around the underside of that wing. It will be good for a big kill there. He will find Slaya just ahead of him, popping up over top of those crates. Over top of the pallets. Killua, he's going to be playing the hill time right now. 1 minute and 50 seconds soaked up. A nade also soaked up amidst all of that. And he will ultimately drop. Will the trade come through? The player in purple will drop, who is on that hill contesting for time. And Reaper will end up building his own streak. Once again, 16-8. The standout player so far on the map. Standout KD. Standout in terms of also nearly 1 minute of hill time. He's going to be good for a lot of pressure and positivity for his team and helping them get themselves on this map to go their way. He will make his way to 18-8. Over double positive here. Reaper still alive. He will jump onto the hill but ultimately die off. Blinder will get the last kills, the last laugh amongst that action, also finding Killua in the process, but with the nade taking him down and he not as big 2-piece, we will start to see more points tick in favor of ADS Gaming. The contest is going to be good for now, as the players are starting in a double hit. Naruto and Killua will clean off this hill. They will sweep it up. The janitors will clean it all up, and Killua giving the thumbs down to all those ADS Gaming and Redux Rain players' bodies in this hill. And boy, oh boy, Redux Rain, they might have been a challenge in that Search and Destroy. They might have been a bit of a meal to have to, a bit of a tough pill to swallow that ultimately was swallowed by ADS Gaming in the hard point. They were a very easy to walk through opponent in that control, and right now, that ease of you know, the lack of viscosity in their presence is just there's such a lack of resistance from them that this ADS Gaming side is having a cakewalk in this hard point. And right now, their performance so far, ADS Gaming, they're earning themselves, you know, all the stripes and stars and banners that they currently have been seeing in their feeds for those double kills, triple kills, outslaying on all cylinders, and Slaya. And over on the opposite side, Killua just not having the best date when it comes to KDs, but Killua's making up for it big time with the hill time presence he's gotten. He's soaked up over 2 minutes of hill time. Obviously, right there, mathematically, that's 120 points. Plus, he has for his team on the board that he's been involved with, earning. Redux Rain on the other side, you're looking at Slaya going 8 and 20. You know, with only 19 seconds on the hill to boot as well, it's just, you know, it's nothing but unfortunates that are being pointed the way of, you know, Redux Rain. But this hill is going to be good. They're going to be able to get some much needed time on it. It's going to help, you know, bring some positivity to their performance potentially throughout the rest of this hardpoint. And they're going to need to really bring out some perfect hardpoint if they want to see themselves come out on top and, you know, climb through this obstacle course of a hardpoint and get to this get to that fifth and final map and get them back onto that search and destroy, the mode that they look the most comfortable in so far this series. But they're gonna have to earn it off of working tooth and nail in this hardpoint. And right now we're on to P number 4, and it's gonna be split. It's gonna be split hit by both these teams. And ultimately, after all the skirmishes have come through, we will see some points starting to tick the way of the purple people. So, as I'm saying that, ADS Gaming come in hot with 3 massive kills. And with 28 seconds left, it's not going to be winnable for ADS Gaming at this point. We will be getting that 5th point all the way on the other sides of spawns for Redux. But that 2-piece was absolutely magical for Redux. Coming off of some really smart ingenuity coming out of Flint. Blinder will tag up Hinata, not take him down. Devastation still in the midst for ADS Gaming. As Redux Rain, they have been able to hold on to now get themselves and net themselves spawns for this next hill. They're doing really good in defending their players. The player on the hill is going to continue to soak up this time, and this lead that we saw Redux Rain, you know, we had ADS Gaming with a massive lead. It's being cut down really well by ADS Gaming. Blinder, he's going to be there to take one big kill off from the rotating player coming in from ladders. Hinata will be on this contest spot here, right over by this crate. They're going to continue to tick up points in favor of them, and they can close things out. 5 more seconds on this point will be good for a victory for ADS Gaming, and it's going to be uncontested in the last. ADS Gaming win the whole entire series here. 3-1, the end of the series scoreline. 250 to 182 is this hard point. And what a fight we have just witnessed out of Redux. We have witnessed out of Redux Esports' very own Redux Rain. Massive shout out to those players, man. GG. Absolutely entertaining action across all the maps. You know, apart from maybe the one in the middle, you know, the control was extremely one-sided for ADS Gaming. Statistically, it was in their favor as well, so it wasn't like we saw much of an underdog story in that, you know, in the works there that was maybe like fully that came to full fruition. We saw ADS Gaming though lose that search and destroy in a very embarrassing fashion. So, we're looking at positives and negatives for both these teams here. It's not a flawless walkthrough series for ADS Gaming. They had massive, massive holes in the search and destroy that needed to be filled, that need to still be filled and worked on. And Redux, polishing up that hard point just some more against some of these stronger teams, and just an ultimately, against some of the other teams in the group that are below you guys, it will do you guys wonders going towards the playoffs. Now, this is not the last time we will see these two teams face off. They will have another opportunity to play against each other in the second half of the regular season, but they're both of these teams' last matches in the first half of the regular season. They both, I can tell you guys the final records for both these teams coming off of the first half of the season. So going into the second half of the season, ADS Gaming now are at 6-1, and we would see the side of Redux at a 4-3. Not too bad. Both teams, ADS Gaming where they need to be and where they should be, 100% by a long shot, and Redux, they finish in the middle of the pack like they need to. Still holding a really, they finished 3-4. Still, contesting for that fourth seed in the group. And with that win they got off stream earlier this week, that ends up putting them at 4-4 to end this week. That's impeccable. That's still really strong. That there's not too many faults there, and they just need to make sure they can clean up. They're guaranteed. They're almost guaranteed matches, so they're ones that have the expectation for wins. We're looking at their matchup against 302 Esports Blue later on in the second half. Their matchup against Elemental Gaming, they're gonna need to clean that one up as well. They're gonna need and then they're gonna need to really battle tooth and nail to prove themselves and get a win over either Hi-Fi, Divine Future, or Team Flawless to get themselves in that top 4 spot, because those are the last 3 daggers, or the last 3 rungs on this ladder that they need to make sure that they can cross and they can pass for them to be able to at least get themselves in that top 4 and avoid having to start the playoffs in the losers bracket. Now, I have to give, last bits of congratulations to ADS Gaming. They show up. I feel like to a level, to a little degree, I want to say they really underperformed. They needed to make it more, more thorough in those hard points. They needed to show up and close out those ones with more of a, a stronger lead, more of a wider gap in difference. And that search and destroy, they should have been able to win that one. They needed to they lit up. They slowed down. They put their foot on the brake, and they just did not look like the ADS Gaming we've seen in the past in S&D. They did not look like the ADS Gaming side that has a 6-1 search and destroy record. They might have looked like we didn't even get to see ADS Gaming play S&D against Team Flawless, but I would expect, if I was to match these guys up on stream and they were to play S&D, that I would even expect ADS Gaming to put up more of a fight against them. But for something like this to happen, massive props for Redux. They really, their work has really paid off in S&D here. And, winning their S&Ds on making their S&D getting a consistent mode is really, really, it can be really tough. But being able to keep it consistent up against stronger opponents, that's the real tough one. We just saw Optic Gaming, just like ADS Gaming, they lost their comfort mode, their shining star-studded stat-wise mode in the control today against the Minnesota Rocker. And that ultimately, in the end, that was one of the kickers that ultimately led to their demise in their series. Now, Redux, they just need to make sure they can continue to win their S&Ds now in the second half of the season against these other teams they're up to compete against. And, we might see them in that top 4. They could pull the wool over some of these teams' heads. Now, wonderful action between these two teams, and I'd love to continue to talk more about it, folks, but I have to start prepping towards another stream and another match I have to cast later on tonight at around 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be over on the Oculus Performance channel. It's going to be Oculus Performance Academy up against Team Esoteric. I don't know how to fully pronounce it. They have an owl logo that's orange and black. It looks absolutely beautiful. Orange is my favorite color, guys. But you know, it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna look through the stats, find out who this series' MVP was, and maybe, just maybe, they will get on the voting and on the poll for this week's MVP at the end of the week. Make sure to stay tuned for that later on this weekend when I release that, and so that you guys can vote and support your favorite players and favorite teams. And yeah, guys, thank you guys so much once again. ADS Gaming fans are absolutely, they're one of the fan bases in this league that continues to go unmatched. And over with Redux, you know, I hope you guys could have more of your fans tune out to future matches. That extra support might help your team go the extra mile up against some of these tougher teams, tougher opponents. Now, love you both. I hope you guys, wish you guys both the best of luck for the rest of the remainder of this regular season going into the second half. And those of you guys in chat that haven't already dropped your follows or subscriptions to the YouTube channel here, please do so. You know, follow the social medias below for ALG. And of course, you guys can always tune into mine, where I will post some where I like to talk about Call of Duty and post more of my gigs and more of my action and content and whatnot, and show love to those that, you know, deserve it. Now, thank you guys once again for tuning on in. It's been awesome. It's been for Trixel, and once again, without Nico, my guy that helps me co-cast, not here. You know, he definitely thanks you guys also for tuning on in, and I hope you guys have a good evening. Peace out.
So alive, I've never felt this way before. It must be you and I. It's got me thinking about us more. It's these bright lights, they put me in a daze, and I can't stop.